When we awoke on Monday morning, it was to a glorious day. Not only sunshine, but my favorite sky with fluffy white clouds that make for great photography. And I'll give all you fellow Broadophiles a great treat today. A trip down the River Bure in ideal conditions. The sunshine, the clouds, a warm day, a gentle breeze, and me being less verbose than usual, no longer subjecting the viewers to my chronic logorrhea. Perhaps. So here you can relive the trip with us from Wroxham to the Stracy Arms. For the videographers, the camera is the Sony Z100, 30 frames a second, shot in UHD, with a polarizing filter for the sky and water, XAVC codec, handheld, stabilized in post. We're leaving Wroxham, heart of Broadland, and thoroughly enjoying cruising down the River Bure. Edward, my brother-in-law, is the captain, and Henry Heron is a good friend and will pose nicely for me. My favorite house on the Broads? The Norfolk Broads has to be one of the most beautiful places in Britain, but one can only really experience it from a boat. Down the Bure we go. Soon arriving at Wroxham Broad. A broad, by the way, is simply a term for a broad expanse of water. Here only called a broad, elsewhere a lake. In Scotland or Ireland, a loch, and in the Lake District, perhaps a tarn. Broadophiles will refer to a holiday here as going on the Broads, which can cause confusion across the pond, the Atlantic pond that is, where a broad has a completely different connotation. For videographers, I'm also using a Sony AX100 and a cheap fisheye lens. Next stop will be Salhouse Broad, where we'll drop anchor and have lunch. For nature lovers, these ducks are young mallards, and the swan's name is William. Salad and sandwiches on the menu. The restaurant has a great location. After lunch, we press on. Past the beach at Salhouse. Salhouse Broad is a flooded sand pit. If nothing else, the Broads are relaxing. We cruise along at a leisurely 4 miles an hour. Horning is the next place through which we pass. Apparently, it means the folk who live on the high ground between the rivers. I presume the rivers are the Bure and the Ant, but as you can see, there's not much high ground. It is picturesque, in fact, described as the prettiest village on the Broads. The Swan Inn here is possibly the most iconic inn on the Broads. I call the stretch from the Swan to the Ferry Inn the Horning Mile, and it's always a joy to be here. The village high street has a variety of shops, and there are some great places for meals. The Staithe and Willow, the New Inn, as well as the Swan. Like Wroxham, Horning has many beautiful homes. From above, one can see there are many interesting backwaters, accommodating both houses and boats. Even a decorative windmill. One interesting fact about the village is that the Ferry Inn was largely destroyed in the Second World War bombing raid in April 1941, during which 15 bombs were dropped on Horning and the surrounding area by a single aircraft. Most landed in the marshes, but one hit the ferry and one hit the inn, where 21 of the 24 people in the pub at the time were killed. One can only surmise the pilot thought the river was an airstrip. Next stop, the bridge at Acle. Then on through Stokesby to the Stracy Arms. To moor for the night. Another great day.